Imagine this. You stand in the grand halls of Persepolis, marble floors gleaming beneath your sandals, pillars rising like silent witnesses to centuries of ambition, betrayal, and blood. You wear no crown, no armor, no sign of rank, and yet you carry a burden heavier than the king's throne itself. You are the royal cupbearer of the Achaemenid Empire, guardian of the king's life, servant of his table, and prisoner of his trust. From the outside, your role seems elegant. People imagine golden cups, perfumed halls, fine wines from distant provinces, but step inside your life, inside your mind, and a very different story unfolds. Because in this court, trust is a weapon, loyalty is a performance, and every sip you take may be your last. Power in Persia is a double-edged sword, and you live on its sharpest point. Your day begins before dawn, long before the palace dancers paint their eyes or the nobles drape themselves in silk. You rise in silence because even sound can betray you here. You wash your hands in cold water, hands that must never tremble. A trembling hand is a suspicious hand, and suspicion in this court is a slow and elegant death. Servants greet you with bows mixed with fear. They look at you the way one looks at a man standing at the edge of a cliff. They envy your closeness to the king, yes, but they also pity you, because no one else is closer to death than you are. The palace corridors whisper their secrets. You hear them as you walk, soft footsteps, hushed conversations, the scraping of sandals as guards shift uneasily. Somewhere in these halls, someone is always plotting. Not always against the king, sometimes against you, because proximity to power makes you a threat, even if you never ask to be one. Before the sun rises, you enter the royal cellar. It is cold, dark, and lined with jars sealed in wax, imported wines wrapped in linen, amphorae marked with symbols known only to the inner court. Your task is simple but terrifying. Ensure that nothing meant for the king is poisoned. Every jug, every cup, every drop must be inspected, guarded, sacrificed to your lips before it reaches his. Some call this loyalty, others call it servitude, but deep down you know what it truly is, a ritual of fear. You lift the first vessel of wine. Your reflection shimmers on its surface, a reminder that you are both guardian and bait. You pour it into a smaller cup, inhale the aroma. Some say poison has no smell. Others claim it smells sweet. You learned long ago not to trust either rumor. You drink, you wait, your heart beats like a war drum. Every time, every single time. The seconds stretch into endless corridors of uncertainty. Only when your pulse steadies do you continue. But the fear never leaves. It lives in your stomach like a coiled serpent, tightening with every swallow. When the sun finally breaks across the horizon, you enter the hall of 100 columns. The vastness is suffocating. Light filters through the high windows, casting long shadows, the kind in which conspirators thrive. The nobles gather in clusters, draped in gold and murmuring behind silk curtains. They pretend not to notice you, but you feel their eyes. They watch you the way generals watch an enemy's messenger, because your words travel directly to the king's ear. And in Persia, such proximity is worth more than armies, and feared more than arrows. You approach the king's throne. Darius, Xerxes, Artaxerxes. The name changes, but the burden does not. The King of Kings sits in utter stillness, carved as if from stone. Yet behind his calm gaze lies a paranoia sharper than any blade. He trusts you with his life, but trust here is not affection. It is expectation, a demand, a warning. You bow. He nods. You present the cup. He watches you drink first, always. His eyes are hawkish, trained on the subtle movements of your throat as you swallow. If you grimace, if you hesitate, if your breath catches even slightly, your life ends before the poison does. The guards would drag you away instantly. Your family would vanish from records. Your name would be scratched off tablets and replaced with silence. You stand still as stone, holding the cup steady. You must be unreadable, a living statue. Only once the king is satisfied do you offer him the drink. He accepts it with regal slowness. You step aside, knowing that every sip he takes could be your death sentence, should anything go wrong. Then the whispers begin. The court is alive with schemes. Every noble fights for influence. Every official hungers for favor. And you stand at the center of the storm, an unarmed man surrounded by daggers disguised as smiles. Some see you as an obstacle, others see you as a pawn, a few see you as the perfect scapegoat. A foreign delegation arrives bearing gifts of gold and exotic fruits. They bow deeply, too deeply. Their leader's eyes flick towards you as he presents wine from his homeland. You see fear in him and hope. Hope that perhaps this gift might sway the king. Perhaps it might shift the balance of power. Perhaps it might end someone's reign. You are commanded to taste it. Your hand tightens on the goblet. The court watches in dreadful silence. Some hold their breath, not because they care about your fate. Your life means nothing to them, but because your death would be the beginning of their political calculations. You drink. The liquid burns. Or does it? You cannot tell. Heat floods your throat. Or is it just fear? The room tilts. Or is it your imagination? You grip the cup tighter until your knuckles turn white, refusing to give any sign. Then comes the worst part, waiting. The poison that kills slowly is feared more than one that kills instantly. Moments pass, crawling like insects across your skin. Your heart pounds, but you do not fall. A murmur spreads through the hall. You have survived, again. But what do they not know is this. You die a little every time you drink. Not from poison, but from the constant threat of it. From the knowledge that one day, one sip will be the last. The king dismisses the delegation. Then he turns to you, as he often does. Not as a servant, but as a shadow advisor. He asks your opinion. Sometimes about wine. Sometimes about people. Sometimes about matters no cupbearer should ever be involved in. Political alliances, military decisions, suspicions about traitors. And you answer carefully, because here, honesty can kill as quickly as a blade. You speak in measured tones, cloaking every truth in silk. You never reveal too much. You never take sides. And still, every word feels like a step on a battlefield riddled with traps. You are more than a servant. You are a confidant, a spy, a witness to secrets that could topple empires. And that is precisely why so many want you gone. The queen's advisors whisper lies about you. The generals resent you. The nobles envy you. The foreign envoys fears you. Even the king loves you only as long as you are useful and alive. Your nights offer no escape. Sleep is thin, haunted by visions of shadows slipping into your chamber, of cups filled with treachery, of the king's disappointed gaze turning cold. You walk through dreams the same way you walk through the palace, one step away from death. And yet, amidst the terror, there is power, immense power. You have access to the king when others must wait hours. You see what others do not. You know who lies, who schemes, who trembles. In a court built on secrets, knowledge is currency, and you are one of the richest men alive. But riches cannot save you. Influence cannot protect you. Loyalty cannot shield you. Because in ancient Persia, the closer you stand to the throne, the deeper your shadow grows, and the more enemies you attract. One evening, during a lavish banquet, you feel the shift in the air. The musicians play louder than usual. The nobles avoid meeting your eyes. The king's expression is unreadable, carved into a mask of royal calm. You pour his wine. Your hand almost shakes. Almost. You drink first. The hall watches, breathless. But this time, something is wrong. A metallic taste spreads across your tongue. Your vision blurs. The room bends and sways like reeds in the wind. Voices drift around you, muffled. You feel your heart stumble, then race, then stumble again. You steady yourself, willing your body into stillness. Because if you fall now, the king will know the wine is poisoned. And if he knows the wine is poisoned, he will suspect you. Not the nobles, not the treacherous generals, you. Your throat tightens. Your heart pounds so loudly you fear the court can hear it. You force an expression of calm onto your dying face. The king watches, eyes narrowed, searching for signs, searching for betrayal. You bow as gracefully as you can and step back. You survive, just barely, but survival is not victory. Survival is merely the beginning of another day in this gilded prison. And that night, as you collapse into bed, drenched in sweat, you finally understand the truth. Being a Persian cupbearer is not a job, it is a sentence. A life spent dancing on the edge of power, where every sip is a gamble, every word a weapon, and every breath a borrowed moment. So why does it suck to be a Persian cupbearer? Because you are trusted more than anyone, yet never truly safe. Because your silence carries the weight of empires, and the price of secrets is blood. Because every time you raise a cup to your lips, you gamble your life for a king who may not even remember your name. You walk beside power, you serve at its table, you guard it with your own body. And one day, when your luck runs out, the court will forget you and pour another cup for the next man doomed to take your place.